By daybreak on Sunday, February 4, the Marines in Southern Way controlled the highlighted area. A three-prong attack was to be made. Platoons from Alpha and Bravo companies of 1st Battalion 1st Marines would begin the advance from MACV. At first light, they would move across the block occupied by the Joan of Arc High School and Layloy Elementary School. It was anticipated that 1st Marines would then cover the left flank of Fox Company 25, on the corner of Lee Thong Kiet and Tran Khao Van Streets. This would eliminate the enfilade fire coming from machine gun nestled in this position. In January 2018, most of the old MACV buildings were demolished to make way for this new high-rise. In April 2019, when this film was taken, the excavator was on the steps of the main MACV building, which fronts Highway 1. This building was the main command and casualty center throughout the battle. The new high-rise is a east-west alignment, same as the old MACV hotel wing. Often it was seen with the U.S. flag on top. First Marines would not be attacking along Tran Khao Van Street. Fox 25 Marines attempted this a few days prior. Many were wounded and killed in that battle, which is shown in our Part 4 video. We are now walking back along the side of the MACV building along Tran Khao Van Street, towards the corner of Highway 1. It's worth remembering where one is walking in history. This film shows the big gates across the road from the old MACV building. Many war films were taken from the top of this building. Please see our Part 2 video. This film shows a Zippo tank firing through the big gates across the field. Take note of the building that the Zippo flame cannot quite reach. This is the start of the Joan of Arc High School. A fierce battle was fought in this building on February 4, 1968. The school building is still there behind the Diatan Hotel. This photo was taken from the gate and shows the field and same school building in the background. Here you see the double masonry building, in relation to the gates. The building is now part of the Diatan Hotel complex. We have stopped the film to show you the school chapel, the school wing, and the St. Francis Xavier Church with steeple damage. The 1st Marines, at daybreak that morning, would fight their way through this area, probably following this protected path from the south end of the MACV block. Compare again to a current photo from above. We are now at the south end of the old MACV block. This new high-rise complex is now where the MACV hooches once stood. We are now panning towards the corner of New and Trifon Street and Highway 1, looking towards the wartime double-story masonry building. In 1968, an Esso gas station was located here. This is how the block would have looked when platoons from Alpha and Bravo companies of 1st Battalion 1st Marines advanced across Highway 1 from MACV. This wartime aerial photograph shows the battleground. We are now showing the Esso gas station taken from on top of MACV. It's a composite of 3 photos. Alpha 11, under the command of Ray Smith, made their advance through this property. 3rd Platoon was lead, commanded by Sergeant Freddy Gonzalez. Aided by an M48 tank firing from Highway 1, they made slow progress. They blew holes into the high school in the vicinity of the school chapel. We have walked up Nguyen Trifon Street, and are standing at the boundary of the Joan of Arc High School and Diatan Hotel. We are only 100 meters from the MACV corner. However, the fighting was so fierce that morning, that Alpha Company took 2 hours to advance to this point. The M48 tank blew a hole through the boundary wall, and 3rd Platoon fought their way into the school chapel, and then into the northeast wing of the Joan of Arc High School. But then a fierce battle began. From the other side of the courtyard the enemy had well-placed machine gun and RP-40 rocket teams. The high school buildings are the same as in the battle. The main difference is that in 1968, a large tree was located in the western side of the courtyard. You can see this tree on the wartime aerial photo. Snipers were firing from the church directly across the street. Marines were sent to secure the building. The tank fired into the exposed rafters of the church. Here a group of Alpha 11 Marines leave the partially destroyed church. Back at the school, the Marines were being killed and wounded, trying to progress beyond the square courtyard. It was 9 a.m. Sergeant Freddy Gonzalez gathered an armful of M72 rockets, and went to the 2nd floor of this building. Gonzalez, since entering way, had made several fearless direct assaults. He ran along the corridor, firing at the enemy positions, then taking cover. On the 3rd occasion, the enemy fired a rocket, mortally wounding him in the stomach. He never regained consciousness and died where he lay. His death was a huge loss to the men, who considered Freddy Gonzalez to be invincible. For his conspicuous gallantry here at the school, and earlier during the Battle of Hue, he was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. The battle for the Joan of Arc High School had been ferocious. The Marines were hindered by a well-entrenched enemy located in small classrooms, and it would be the next day before the schools were secured. Also remembering 2 other Alpha Company Marines who died that day. They were Leonard Bro and Larry Jean Clark. The United States Navy guided missile destroyer, USS Gonzalez, commissioned in 1996, is named in his honor. His mother, Dolia, has a close relationship with the ship and its crew. Also fighting in the front line that day, was Sergeant Major John Canley, who in October 2018, was awarded the Medal of Honor for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action during the Battle of Hue.
Today we proudly award John the Congressional Medal of Honor. In the days that followed, John led his company through the fog and rain, and in house-to-house, very vicious, very hard combat. He assaulted enemy strongholds, killed enemy fighters, and with deadly accuracy, did everything you had to do. He raced into heavy machine gun fire on many occasions, all to save his fellow Marines. In one harrowing engagement after another, John risked his own life to save the lives of those under. During the 5th day of combat, John and his company were tasked with liberating the Joan of Arc school, which had become a strategic and symbolic stronghold of the communists' control of the city. As soon as John's company arrived, communist forces unleashed their machine guns with tremendous velocity, tremendous violence, all at the Marines. Undeterred, John and his comrade, Sergeant Alfredo Gonzalez, fearlessly charged forward with rocket launchers, killing the enemy and driving them from their positions. The enemy didn't know what the hell happened. During this daring maneuver, Sergeant Gonzalez was shot and killed, giving his life for his nation and for his fellow Marines. Today we are honored to be joined by Sergeant Gonzalez's mother, who I just met, who is incredible, Maria. Where's Maria? Maria, there's Maria.